at Bruce and Beardsley, and I've forgiven them. We've talked about it, Beardsley and I, the next day, and Bruce and I hugged and talked about it. His kids have called me since this. We've apologized to each other. The only person I requested to help me here was Mr. Stewart. I did request him. I needed his car. I asked him if he had some guys to help me remove these things from the room. I didn't ask anybody to do anything but to stand behind me, allow me to yell at these guys, and then help me remove those things. And if they wouldn't let me remove them, we would call the cops on them, because I felt that they were wrong. They had turnover orders, and they hadn't turned over some of these things that were both garnishable and things that were not garnishable. I didn't want them to yell at them. I think Mr. McCook in the previous trial said that I didn't ask them to yell at anybody. Unfortunately, they did, and I believe it was my fault because I brought them there. And I knew the character of a couple of the guys that were there, and it was my fault that they were there. But in no way did I mean to hurt anybody, to steal anything from anyone. I spoke to Bruce before I left the room. He told me what was his, and I called him, and I got to the car and I said, exactly what do you have? I want to send it back to you. I talked to the police officers. I volunteered immediately to come back, show them what was taken, and to tell them what took place before anybody talked to the police. I was the first guy to volunteer to do it, and I heard on the tapes that they thought I was stupid for doing it. But I didn't want to steal anything from anybody. I don't think anybody there said I wanted anybody else's stuff, just my own. I wanted my daughter, who Miss Brown gave her mother's wedding ring, stolen. You know, my kids who had pictures, my oldest son has his own family now. He wanted the picture in the Oval Office with Gerald Ford when he was 5 years old, stolen. All of these things are gone. My family knew what we were doing. And I don't want to hurt Bruce. I didn't want to hurt any of these guys. I know these guys. These guys have eaten in my home. I've done book reports with their kids. I sung to their mothers when they were sick. You know, I wasn't there to hurt anybody. I just wanted my personal things, and I realized now I was stupid of me. I am sorry. I didn't mean to steal anything from anybody, and I didn't know I was doing anything illegal. I thought I was confronting friends and retrieving my property. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of it. But all the other guys, except Mr. Stewart, volunteered. They wanted to go.
So that's OJ. He said, did you hear in his voice? He said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of it. Even killing Ron and Nicole, OJ? And the judge, Judge Glass, I mean, here's an indication of how America felt about this, because I believe, and I kind of followed it, semi-closely, you know, the charges from Nevada. I believe that OJ was set up. He was set up. You know, the system, America, white America, whoever, they wanted to get OJ. They wanted him behind bars because they felt as if he had played the race card and got away with it. And I got to check America. America has been playing the race card since the inception of this country. But now one brother plays the race card and gets away with it. Now you got to get him. Okay? I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. Hey, got what he deserved ultimately. But let me clue you in, because OJ says, well, I didn't know I think I was doing anything wrong. I was confronting friends. If you got a weapon and you walk into a room, let's say you walk into a hotel room of your so-called friends, and you say, nobody move until I get my stuff, that's kidnapping, period. People say, I want to leave, and you say, don't go nowhere, homie. That's kidnapping. You don't have to actually take one person from one geographic location to another for that to be kidnapping. I want to make sure we clarify that. You walk to a room, guns blazing, the threat of it, and you say, you ain't going nowhere till I get kidnapping. You got major problems on your hand. Word to the wise. Word to the wise. The judge, she went on it to be a television judge. Judge Glass. I'll never forget it. I was blown away. In the intro for her show, and America they love these judge shows. It's all about the drama. It's all about the legal drama. Okay? I don't know. The judge shows, it's nothing more than a reality show. Those judge shows, Judge Judy, Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown, you name it. It's all about the drama. Those shows are no different than your garden variety reality show. But because they're a judge, because you got the official nature of the context, it's okay. Okay? It's not as much of a guilty pleasure. All right? No difference. In the intro for her show, the narrator actually mentions she's the woman that got OJ. I'm like, wait a minute, that's on her resume now? You know, considering how America felt about or feels about OJ, that might open a lot of doors for you. I'm the lady that got OJ. Wait a minute. How is that right? How is that right? Speaking of America and racial issues, has anyone seen the trailer for this new movie? It's called The Birth of a Nation. I'm reading a headline here from the Griot. The Birth of a Nation trailer will blow your mind. Oh, my mind is blown because I'm sick and tired of these damn slave movies. I don't care what kind of slave movie it is. I don't care if it's like the sad slave movie where black folks never rise up, all right? And it's a portrait of the brutality of slave masters. I don't care if it's a rise up slave movie where they rise up and kill their white masters. I am sick and tired of slave movies. Damn, I'm fatigued. Can I get a variety? Damn, Hollywood. You know, most of these black directors, writers, executives, they can't get a movie greenlit unless it's a damn slave movie. I am sick and tired of it. Okay, we understand. And before somebody says, we need to understand our history so we can have a future and all this nonsense, why is it we keep retelling the same damn story? I'm tired of it. I watched the trailer. And for some, it might be exhilarating. I just couldn't emotionally invest in it because I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Everybody was raving about 12 years a slave. This is different, Nate, because he was a slave for 12 years. What difference? He played the violin. Oh, my God. I'm tired of it, folks. I mean, can we invest in, like, I'd much rather go see the new Black Panther movie, like the Marvel comic superhero Black Panther, than another damn slave movie. I'm sorry. That's just me. Can we get a Black Captain America movie first? I'm sick of the same movies over and over and over and over. Oh, people are in pain. Oh, we're in pain. We rise up. You're mad as hell. And then you feel a little bit of good at the end. Okay. And then you go home. I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, if Hollywood wants to teach us something about the struggle, there's a lot of struggle between slavery, all right, the end of slavery, and today. There's a lot of struggle. Okay, what about some of the struggles of the black soldiers? I mean, there's so many untold stories out there that touch upon the same themes as these slave movies, but they're more current. And I believe, you know, especially with millennials and younger generation, because it's more current, it's going to be more impactful. That's just me, though. That's just me. I am sick and tired of it. Daryl writes, I'm still waiting for the Black Wall Street movie. I'm with you, Daryl. Nobody wants to make that movie because then people put two and two together like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe the economic plight of black families isn't just due to the fact that they're lazy and listless and they spend all their money on Cholitos and rims. No, Buster, there's more to it. There was an organized movement, right, within this country, not just in Oklahoma, not just in Tulsa, to destroy the economic infrastructure that black people built for themselves. Hey, you talk about haterism, hating the game. That was some hate. I would go see, you know, depending on how it's done, I would much more favor a movie about Black Wall Street. Okay? Because think about it. It's 2016. What's the next battle for, you know, families of color? It's economics. It's economics. I am sick of slave movies. Can I get an amen on that one? Ugh. Whew. Tiffany writes, Birth of a Nation looks like it will be good. I'll be watching opening weekend. By the way, go see Barbershop 3 if you haven't already. Well, Tiffany, again, listen, I support these actors and actresses and their ability to act. And I know they got to eat. And I love to see people with jobs. That's a beautiful thing. But as a consumer, I'm tired of the slave movies. The slave motif, I'm sick of it. Okay? I'm sick of the gangbanging motif, the drug dealing motif. I'm sick of that. And I'm sick of the slave motif. That's just me. Okay? Nuri writes, come on, Nuri. Good morning to you, brother number one. He writes, Ron Goldman got killed by the mafia hitman who was after him. They killed his friends, and it was just his time. Nicole Simpson, the prostitute druggie, was caught in the crossfire, and OJ was a scapegoat because they had prior arguments. Okay, so how did the mafia get OJ's blood, Nuri? How did they get access to the white Bronco, Nuri? How did they get access to OJ Simpson's house, Nuri? His shoes. Come on, Nuri. I mean, I'm not saying that there haven't been cover-ups. I'm not saying that there are not people who are incarcerated for crimes they did not commit. We all know that's happened. What I'm saying is that in the O.J. Simpson trial, come on, man. Look at the evidence. How did they get O.J. Simpson's blood? Oh, God, nah. Karamia writes, why can't Hollywood make black hero movies? Image is everything. Mike Jones writes, I disagree. I can't wait to see the Nat Turner movie. Shannon writes, I refuse to go see a slave movie. John writes, when you are guilty of a crime, especially a crime like murder, and you use race in your favor because it's even worse and it detracts from the true victims of racial disparity. Yeah, but when you're on trial for your life, then you will allow your defense to do whatever it takes to get you off. I get it. White and black. Nuri writes that Nevada was a setup. The judge even said this is karma. Keena says levels better. Thank you, Keena. Keena, I appreciate you. Let me know. Brittany writes, nay, LOL at the slave movies, but you're absolutely right. Good morning. Good morning, Brittany. Angela writes, what about Don Cheadle's movies Miles Ahead? I haven't seen it. I will see it very, very shortly. I'll let you know. I'm a big Don Cheadle fan. And Miles Davis was just an enigmatic figure, man. I don't think that most people know a lot about, that particular brother's style. And it was shot here in Cincinnati. Some of it anyway. Keena writes, I know I'm sick of them also. It's like that's all our people were, only enslaved people. Nope, that's not our history. It's theirs. They are wicked. Uh-oh. Nuri writes, the lab said they lost the blood. Okay. So the mafia went into the police laboratory and stole the blood. And they did this within hours. It would have to be within minutes of the crime. Come on, man. Two different things you're talking about, Nuri. Tiffany writes, Birth of a Nation isn't your typical slave movie. Nat Turner's story needs to be told. At the end of the day, it's our history. We need our stories told, good or bad. It's a slave movie. The introduction of Nat Turner doesn't do a lot to change my opinion about it. But again, this is sight unseen. Karamia writes, I think the movie Anita Hill versus Clarence Thomas put him in a bad situation. Maybe that's why he doesn't support us. I believe Anita Hill. I do not believe that Anita Hill would go before Congress, leave her life, become a media spectacle to try to frame some brother. I don't believe that one bit. I recently watched a documentary on cable, and Anita Hill is she's a college professor. She's got students. And she comes across as a very conservative woman. No, nothing wrong with that. She comes across as a very serious woman, a very intellectual woman. And just reading her, why would she do that? Why? So somebody put her up just to stop Clarence Thomas. No, I believe everything that was said about Clarence Thomas from the mouth of Anita Hill, period. Nuri writes, I didn't say the mafia stole the blood. So what are you saying, Nuri? You wrote, the lab said they lost the blood. There was blood at the scene. There was blood at the scene. There was blood in the Bronco. There was blood at OJ's house. There was blood on his shoes. How would the mafia get OJ's blood? And how would they be able to get his blood? He didn't know about it now. And then they planted all of this evidence without his knowledge. And they did this within moments. Come on, man. It's clear what happened. All that mafia stuff. There is a mafia. I don't know all the history of Mr. Ronald Goldman. I never knew that Nicole was a prostitute. That was new to me. If she was, that's on her. Not judging her. But the mafia hit, that was just something that was thrown out there to create reasonable doubt. I'm telling you, folks, Johnny Cochran was a magician. He was Harry Houdini reincarnated.